Hello, I'm Matt, and welcome to ValiWorld. This is our first production and a book review. We have decided to call it Wordy Wednesday, and in this episode, the chosen book is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Many of you might have heard of this famous work written by the American author Stephen Covey, which has helped an infinite number of people around the world thanks to its general content, character, and applicable to all aspects of life, meaning not only oriented to work, but also spirit, love, relationships, and physique. This is one of those books that are not read and then archived. On the contrary, it is highly recommended that we always keep it on hand as it is pragmatic. Out of the 7 habits described in this book, the first 3 are intended to help achieve independence, the following 3 are intended to help achieve inner dependence, and the last one is intended to help maintain these achievements. Each of the 7 habits has a chapter of the book devoted to it. Without further ado, let's start with the first one. Habit number 1. Be proactive. Being proactive doesn't just mean taking the initiative. It means that, as human beings, we are responsible for our own lives. Our behavior depends on our decisions, and not of our conditions. We can subordinate feelings to values. We have the initiative and the responsibility to make things happen. If we analyze the word responsibility, we find allusions to the word respond and ability, the ability to choose the response. That's why proactive people claim that their behavior is the result of their own conscious choice. Reactive people, however, blame environmental conditions and circumstances to explain their behavior. Practical suggestions. Identifying yourself and the people around you. How often you use the vocabulary similar to I can't, I have to, if only. Take the initiative to change that by having the ability to make things happen as you want. Identify a problem in your personal life that you find frustrating. Determine if it is a direct or indirect control problem. Work to see how you can solve it and take the step. Habit number 2. Begin with the end in mind. What do you really want, and why? Starting with an end in mind means having a clear understanding of your destiny. It involves knowing where you're going so that you can better understand where you are now and always take the right steps in the right direction. It consists of starting today with an image, the picture, or the paradigm as a frame of reference or criteria for all the other things. With that end in mind, you can ensure that what you do on a particular day does not infringe the criteria you have defined as paramount, and that each day contributes significantly to your vision of your life as a whole. Practical suggestions. Take time alone and start working on your personal mission statement. Identify a project that you will have to face in the near future. Establish the results you hope to achieve and the steps that will lead you to that goal. Habit number 3. First things first. What can you do that you're not doing now and that if you did it regularly would make a tremendous positive difference in your personal life? This chapter talks about what's important and what's urgent, and it uses the Eisenhower matrix. The quadrant 1 is about important deadlines and crises. Quadrant 2 is about long-term development. Quadrant 3 is about distractions and deadlines. And quadrant 4 is about frivolous distractions. Feel free to pause the video if you want to analyze the matrix. The author suggests that we should take advantage of our time by following the quadrant 2. That's where authentic personal growth is. Practical suggestions. Recognize an activity that generates you value, but you know that you have neglected it lately. An activity that, if well done, will have a positive effect on your life, whether personal or professional. Write it down and commit to doing it. Draw the matrix and establish what percentage of your time is spent in each quadrant. Determine what things you should change so that your time is mainly focused in quadrant number 2. Habit number 4. Think win-win. The win-win paradigm is a structure of the mind and the heart that constantly seeks mutual benefit in all human interactions. Win-win means that the agreements or solutions are mutually beneficial, mutually satisfactory. Thus, all parties involved feel good about the decision made and commit to the action plan. Other types of paradigms, such as win-lose or even lose-lose, are based on power and position. However, WinWin is based on principles and values, and on the concept that there's enough for everyone. It is not about the success of one party, but a success for all parties involved. Practical suggestions. Think about a future interaction in which you try to reach an agreement or negotiate a solution. It could be marriage, with a child, with the boss, with an university professor, etc. Commit to maintain a balance in the resolution result. List from the other person's point of view all the guidelines in which you think that person sees the solution. Then do the same, but from your perspective. This way, you will have a better understanding of the negotiation process and you will reach a mutually beneficial result. Habit number 5. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. Suppose that you attend to an appointment with a doctor and the doctor prescribes the medicine you should take even before you tell them your problems or pain. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Well, we should act in our daily life the same way, as if we were the doctor who first listens to the patient and then prescribes the medicine. This is accomplished through empathetic listening, and then we will be able to better understand the verbal and the non-verbal, like emotions or feelings. Practical suggestions. When you have a chance, see other people who are talking, but cover your ears. What emotions do they communicate? Choose a relationship that you have neglected lately and practice attentive and empathetic listening. Work to understand the other person's perspective first. Habit number 6. Synergize. Synergy, by definition, is the interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations, substances, or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. In this chapter, the book talks about the actual manifestation of all the other habits gathered. All the habits that we have been observing so far prepare us to create the miracle of synergy. Practical suggestions. Think of a person who generally sees things in a different way than you. Determine how those differences can help you create a balanced and a joint solution. Identify a situation in which you need more teamwork and synergy. What do you think are the necessary conditions to create synergy? Habit number 7. Sharpen the saw. Imagine that you are in a forest cutting trees with a saw. You have been doing it for over 5 hours already. You feel tired and exhausted, but you don't want to stop. Then you realize that if you take 5 minutes to sharpen the saw, the remaining work gets easier and faster. That is what this habit is all about. It incorporates all the other habits, is the one that makes them possible. Practical suggestion. Set a list of activities in which you want to sharpen the saw. Do them and then test your results consistently. And that's a summary of this book. Have you read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Is there another book that you would like us to review? Let us know in the comments below. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, share it on social media, and subscribe to our channel ValiWorld. We upload every day. Thanks for watching and see you tomorrow.